We're at 5824 Woodmont Avenue, doing a sanitary lateral inspection. Oh, well, this is Pleasant Ridge. Doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. Going through the clean out in the rear left of the basement, and there's a stack. There's a vent stack to the left of it, but we should be tied together right there at the base. Going into a larger pipe and all the way out. The sewer line has been marked out in the front, at least up to the sidewalk. I think they were replacing a water main or something. So we do know that it goes, if you're facing the house, it goes out the left side, or even maybe the left front corner, but it is on the left side of the house where it crosses the sidewalk. So, got some stuff on here. I may have to, well, that worked out pretty well as it got down to the base of the stack. This is PVC above ground, and it turns to cast iron once it gets into the floor. So the stack has been replaced, and there's also a smaller, like 2-inch cast iron next to it. That was what I was speaking of before, the vent. Looks like this comes out, looks like it's turning right, which would mean it would exit the house on the side, I believe, unless this went over diagonal. It's kind of hard to tell the exact direction unless I locate it, which, unless I find an issue, I normally don't do, unless it's asked for. But normally the way it works is you have cast iron through the inside, and then once it exits the house, it will switch over to clay on a house this age. So I must still be underneath the basement floor here, and all this cast iron does look really good, especially for the age. It looks nice and smooth and not a whole lot of buildup. And you can see as we transfer over into a larger 6-inch and a clay pipe, which means we have gone outside of the house. So far, this is clay pipe. You can tell the change in material and size. Again, this is normal for the age of the house. Pretty common material. The biggest problem with clay is it is brittle, but usually underground stuff can last for 100 years. It's just that there are, the sections of clay are usually only about 3 feet long, so there's a lot more sections, a lot more connections. So if there's a lot of trees around, they're known for getting root intrusion. Doesn't always mean it's a major issue, it's just that it's a lot more opportunity. Yes, we have a little bit of water here, not a concern. This is normal. It's just at, slightly small amount of water. That camera lens is only about a ½ inch off the bottom of the pipe. So, I mean, it's not even getting up to that. It's of no concern at all. It's, again, a relatively normal thing to see. It's right before a junction like that. Sometimes when they put these pipes together, they will be, they kind of fit them together, and they wouldn't always use fittings. They would kind of turn the pipe a little bit on its own. It doesn't look like that was there, but here we're just barely underwater, so we have a little bit of a belly. It's not real deep. There's some toilet paper and stuff sitting in it. I'm not seeing any solids yet, but I'm also not climbing out of this, so I might be able to see a little more when I pull back. Right now, it's weird that I would still be underwater. I'm not pushing any solids, which is a sign that it doesn't seem like, the stuff is building up in the pipe. A lot of times when stuff does build up, it would be a you would see a bunch of solids building up. So thinking as long as they're using, toilet paper, just toilet paper, no wet wipes, no other materials, just your normal toilet paper and natural materials, shouldn't be an issue. Now, this does look like we have an offset. This does look like we have a broken pipe here. I don't see a bunch of buildup here, and this is we're about a 30% grade here, so it's a pretty steep line going into this. And I believe at 83 feet, we should be in the street, which would mean this spot right here would be the responsibility of the Metropolitan Sewer District to maintain. It does look like it is separated, and the pipe is broken at the connection. I don't think I can get past it. I'm trying to jump it here, but it doesn't look like the camera's going to go. So I may not be able to give it a couple shots here to see if we can. Yeah, it looks like that's gonna be as far as we can go, but I am gonna stop here. I'm gonna get a locate. The problem is, because it's at a 27-degree angle, I'm gonna have to pull up to the top where this evens out to get a good locate to make sure it's accurate. But I should be able to say I'm about 2 feet in front of this, and I should still be out in the street. So I'm going to pause the video here, go out, get a locate. That way we can verify that we are off the property by now. So I just pause it, because if not, there'll be a bunch of dead airspace here, and nobody wants to watch that. Okay, so I marked this out in the street. It's a couple feet past this, but this is where it's dropping right past the curb. It is in the street, so this would be the sewer district's responsibility. Chances are they will inspect this coming back from the main using a lateral launcher or mainline camera. And in this instance, they would probably look at this and say it's not affecting flow, and they may not want to do anything about it, but they should at least be notified so they can come out, take a look, see what they think, because they may end up repairing it. It is right about where they have just recently done. Looks like they replaced the water main, based on the cuts in the street and what the locates represent. So, but this is as far as I was able to get, because of that offset down at the bottom. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull back and continue the inspection, and I'm going to get a little bit better look at that belly. As I'm pushing, a lot of times I am pushing some of the water and stuff in front of me, so sometimes the bellies look a little worse when you're pushing the water along. So we're hoping that you can see the water flashing, so it's about a 1/4 inch of water, maybe a 1/2 inch. So I am seeing, this is right there, a decent amount, a decent length belly. Now, most of these cases, that water, because it's so little, that should take everything that it needs to down to the main and get rid of it. I didn't see, there were no buildup, no blockages of large solids, which is a good sign that everything is, that belly is, it's minimal. and that everything is making its way down the line. It was between about 60 feet and 75 feet, and the line is probably relatively flat until it gets out to the street. It's kind of what it seems like. We have a pretty flat line as far as it coming out of the basement. Not a whole lot of drop, and that could be the reason why, is it went really flat before it dropped off and went at the sidewalk. And other than that, everything looked really good. That belly does not look like it's affecting anything, but again, that could be an issue if you're using anything other than toilet paper and depositing natural materials. That's why we always preach not to use, wet wipes, paper towels, things of that nature, because they don't break down. And if they are heavy enough, they will sit in that belly, and they could catch something and cause it to back up. Now again, there was nothing in that spot that made me believe that it would cause a backup. It's not impossible, but most of the time that stuff, as you add more water to it, it overtakes that half an inch, and it'll push it right on down the line. Toilet paper, for example, will disintegrate and will not build up. So we're back in the house. We're going through all the cast iron here. And all the cast iron looks like it's in really good shape under the floor, which is good news. It's usually a lot more rough than what this is. So that's a good sign. Okay, so we pulled all the way back out of the pipe and we're back in the reel. So just wanted to reiterate one more time, the only problem we really saw there was the belly. I believe that as long as you're diligent about using the sewer line the correct way, that should not cause a backup. There is the spot out in the street, which probably be a good idea just to give the Metropolitan Sewer District a call, let them know that it has been inspected and located, and see if they'll come out and take a look at it. Say there's an offset and it was unable to finish the inspection all the way out to the main, but I did make it off of the property so that at that point it is MST's responsibility. The belly, again, just be diligent about using the right materials, and we recommend everybody do the same thing for any sewer line, no matter what shape it's in. We always recommend to only use toilet paper, no wet wipes, no paper towels, no feminine products, nothing of that nature. So with all that said, this is going to end the inspection at 5824 Woodmont Avenue in Pleasant Ridge.